Okay, so this is my project-based quest. I titled it Equations of Life. So my driving question is how can linear equations be applied to real life situations or just life situations? I actually wanted the students to be creative, so even if the situations aren't necessarily realistic, I thought it would be fun just to do life situations and how math can actually be implemented in everyday life. Anyway, so I'm gonna start off by talking about my navigation of my project. I picked a really simple layout just to try and make it easy for everybody. On the side here, you'll see all my pages. The only thing I couldn't figure out is like my pages automatically go into alphabetical order. So it's not in the order that I would really want it to be in. Like at first, I wanted it to start off with tasks and to talk about what this project is about. And then from there go on to, okay, so the task, and then here's the different roles in the project. So for my project, it's for a team of three. Um, one role would be the writer, one would be an artist, and one would be what I call as the data guru, which is just the person that manipulates the data. I was trying to think of a different name for that. Let's see. Also, instead of my evaluation, I wrote out my exact rubric on where points would be, and I tried to specify, okay, if you did really well, you get this. If you did mediocre, you get this, and what exactly would be missing or what you need to get each points in each category. And then we go to my teacher page. So this is my teacher page. There's a picture of me. There's my email address if anybody has any questions. At the bottom, I talked a bit about California state standards. For this project, I had it in mind for it to be about linear equations, which you learn the basics of in Algebra 1, but it could definitely be applied to Algebra 2, where you can do like nonlinear equations, which have, like x cubed, so it wouldn't necessarily be in a straight line, like the lines would curve. You could definitely do a project like this based on those equations too. But for this, I did Algebra 1, so those standards, solve equations and inequalities, solving multiple problems, including word problems, involving linear equations, and then graphing linear equations. Those are probably the biggest standards. It did hit little bits in different standards, but I thought those were the three big ones for this project. Let's see. Also, I started off my teacher page saying this project was created because as a math teacher, I'm tired of hearing people say, when will I ever need to know this? I don't know how many times I've heard that question, and it just drives me nuts because math really is applicable in everyday situations. So I think this project would probably take 3 to 4 hours. It's definitely a learning project, but I don't think it's too tough. I guess it depends too on what type of equations the students are given. You can give them an equation where they have to solve it themselves and then go in and find out and then pick dependent variables and independent variables and solve it that way. So I guess it all starts out with how you phrase the questions in the beginning. I think the biggest tech requirement that I put in here was just knowing the basics of Excel or Excel-like programs. I also put in this that, let me go to my materials page, that you don't necessarily have to use Excel if you don't want to. You can use Google Spreadsheet, which is like Excel, and I put some links here. So here's how to graph a formula in Excel or in Google Spreadsheet. And then at the end of the project, I asked for the students to make a presentation. And from there, I said that you can use PowerPoint or Prezi. I'm not sure if many of you use Prezi, but it's kind of like PowerPoint, but it's actually really cool. It allows you to like zoom in or zoom out on different pictures, and it's more interactive and very creative. So I wrote this is like a tutorial on Prezi basics. And then here's the difference between Prezi and PowerPoint, just to let students know, and from there they can pick what they think is better. Okay, yeah, so that I guess is the end of my quest. Please feel free to comment or email me if you have any questions.